Please join me in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. And the invocation?
I've got it, Phil.
You got it, Chuck.
Let us pray. Dear Lord, we thank you for this wonderful day. It's kind of sunny. Keep it up. We thank you for the food that's set before us. Help us in our upcoming auction and to make it successful for ourselves and to the community. Thank you. Amen.
Thanks, Chuck. Okay, and now you're up, Brock, the song. Sunshine, my only sunshine, you make me happy when skies are gray. How much I love thee, we don't take my sunshine away. Thank you very much. All right, please be seated, or am I missing something? Oh, the four-way test. Thanks, Mark. Four-way test, here we go. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build and better friendship? Will it be beneficial for all concerned? There you go. Thank you, sir. Okay. All right, let's go to announcements. And I want to remind everybody what's happening next Friday. We have the auction next Friday. Does anybody know where it's at? How about, does everybody know where it's at? It's in Anacortes, Museum of Flight Museum, okay. Does everybody have their auction item in? Who does it? If you don't have your auction item in, Sergeant at Arms, who's Sergeant at Arms? Tim? It'll be $1 once we get there. Oh, $2, okay. So next Thursday, we're gonna need help right after the meeting here and setting up. So next Friday, I'm looking forward to it. Okay, announcements. Mark Venn.
Today, that's, let me get it, Becky, Mike Mosier, Rich isn't here, Dave Bricka, and Chris Johnson and myself will meet at this table right after the meeting is finished. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Tim Hallen, I guess. Here. You know what his announcement is.
This is going to be a little long.
A little long?
Yeah.
Okay. Face that.
Hello, everybody. Okay. We have some things to pick up before we go on over to the auction on Thursday or Friday, so I need some people to volunteer to be responsible for doing that. First off, over at the storage building, we need somebody to pick up items over there. Clipboards, pens, and lanyards. Do you have those, Danny? I have. So the clipboards are still over there. The what now? This is a storage unit, yeah. So clipboards, pens, lanyards. We need the pegboards for the certificates. There are tents over there that we need to bring. We will probably end up using those because at least today it's supposed to be raining that on Friday. Perfect. Coolers. This gets a little tricky because we need the coolers. We need to fill them with ice. And we also need to pick up grocery carts over at Food Pavilion. So who can go ahead and take care of that stuff? Okay. So Joe isn't here today, is he?
Shopping carts.
What?
Shopping carts.
Okay, great. Thank you, Steve.
Carl's got to come.
Deaf guy here. Carl.
Enclosed trailer that I'll be happy to use? Tell me how to use it, I'll show up.
He's got an enclosed trailer. 20 foot.
Enclosed 20-foot trailer.
Okay, cool.
Tell him how to use it and we'll get it there.
I believe we bring the flags, the podium, the bell, stuff like that from here. Who's going to pick that up? Carl, you want to get the flags, podium, the banners, all that stuff from here? Is there anything else we need from here? Do we need the wheel? Chad, do we need the wheel? We're going to use cards. Oh, the wheel. Yes. Yes, the wheel. That would be good. Curtis is taking care of that, but we do need the wheel. Banners for the sponsors need to go up, but I'll bring those down. The Northwest Hot Tubs is donating a grill. They've got the grill set up. We can pick up an assembled grill with 2 bags of pellets and a pizza oven. Who can pick that up down at Northwest Hot Tubs? Perfect. Okay, fence posts, knives. We've got knives, the knife set that Eric got put together for us. That goes with those things, but I have those knives, so I'll bring them.
Wheel of Fortune.
You mean the wheels here?
He'll get everything from here and put it in the trailer.
That's fine. That'll work. Okay. And Steve, you're getting the grocery carts. That's probably the big one. We can get up to 8. I don't know. What do we need? 5, 6, something like that. But whatever, you can get up to 8. PowerPoint's going. Eric, I'll talk to you. Okay, Danny.
Registration is pretty much closed, but if I can take a few more, we have submitted catering counts. We have about 350 people planning to attend, so it's going to be a packed house. As for silent items, I have a little over 200 cataloged so far, so please get those in as soon as possible so that I can start printing out the sheets for those.
Good. Yeah, Danny has done a yeoman's job with all this stuff. Have all the teams provided the booze for the Wheel of Fortune? If you haven't done that, be sure to get that in. I think that's it. Anybody else got any announcements, something that they need to take care of with the auction?
Hi, everybody. Still working on getting the cruise raffle filled in. We're pretty close on that one, probably 15 to 20. The knife and grill board is still delayed again. Supposed to be today. I'll have it. So next week, I'd love it if everybody showed up with $50 in their pocket, because as of right now, we only have like 15 of the 100 spots filled. Whatever doesn't get filled next Thursday, I'm going to need a little help at the auction from a couple people to go around and help me get it filled up that night. So I'll be reaching out to some of you if I don't get some volunteers. Thank you.
Yeah, especially on the Wheel of Fortune and the board. Take a stint at it. Just walk around for a half an hour, hassle your friends, sell a few things. And that works really well. We don't want 1 or 2 people just stuck on those posts all night long. But if you're ready to do something with the Wheel of Fortune, especially get in touch with Curtis, who is also the guy that will be selling tickets for the flower baskets, which Dan will be bringing. So all that's set up. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Tim. Let's give Tim a hand. This is a lot of work. Okay, Work party, mid-May. This is the inter-Rotary work party that we've been talking about. Becky, where are you at? Becky, if you stand up, you can talk a little bit more about it, but this is a project to help put some flooring in at Camp Kirby and to help renovate Camp Kirby's grounds a little bit. Becky.
Yeah, so thank Phil, he helped bring all the flooring from Costco, hi Maggie, out to Samish Island to Camp Kirby. So we've got 5 Rotary clubs. It's gonna be, the work party's gonna be mid-May. We're gonna put in the flooring, haul some old furniture out, clean up the grounds, and we're getting volunteers from kids in the high schools. But I need some hands on deck. That's the district conference. And so some of us will be gone that weekend. So I really need a little bit of help from our club.
Becky, can you remind us how many clubs are involved with this?
There are 5 clubs, 2 clubs from Mount Vernon, our club, and 2 clubs from Burlington. One of the Burlington clubs is really, really small. So I don't think we'll have too many volunteers there, but I think it'll just be maybe 1.5 days. Say that? Yes, May 14th, 13th, 14th, and 15th.
Thank you, Becky. And Becky's been taking the lead in coordinating all of this work. Are there any other announcements? Okay, are there any guests today? No guests today. And are there any visiting Rotarians today? No, we're good. Okay, Sergeant of Arms, Tim. Raffle.
All right. First number is 25. Becky. $30 cash. $30. B12. Number 12. No wine, just beer. $25 cash.
Whoa.
The money's flowing. 25. 57. No way. If it's cash, I get half. Magnolia Grill, $25, gift certificate. The last one is 63. There we go. $10 Ristretto Coffee Lounge and Wine Bar.
Nice.
That's right up your alley. We'll get it to you later. All right.
Hey, keep it going.
Sergeant at Arms. So we're going to start off with everybody raise your hand if you've turned in at least 2 silent auction items. Very nice. So anyone without their hand raised, that's a Rotarian, that's $2. And we're going to do a little United States trivia today. We got a lot of educators in here, so we'll see what's going on over at the school district. So the first one for you guys here, when was the first US dollar printed? You can give me within 5 years. 1862? That's exactly right. All right. What country gifted the Statue of Liberty to the US? Okay. What year was that? I'll give you within 5. $1885? 1884. Good job. Need to get some money out of you guys today. All right, you should know this one, but there's a follow-up. Passed in 1919, which amendment prohibited the sale of alcohol in the United States? Which amendment? And I want the numerical amendment. I'm looking at you, Keith. As there's a big bottle of rum on the table. 35, is that what you said, David? 23rd? No. 18th Amendment. So that's $2 and $2 unless you can answer the follow-up. In what year was that repealed? $30-ish. That's not going to fly. What was it? 30? Nope, 33. $2. All right, next question. Which 4 US presidents were assassinated while in office? I hear Lincoln, Garfield, Kennedy, and McKinley. That's correct. Good job, Brock. Okay. For these guys, in what year did child labor laws begin in the United States? I've seen kids over at the Lemleys a few years ago. Yeah. Digging graves and everything. 1968? No, 1938. $2. And we'll ask our table up here, and Eric, you're included on this. Which state is the smallest state in the United States? Okay, that was too easy. In what year were women granted the right to vote? $1812? No. How about our guests over here? No. 1920. 1920. I think it was the 19th Amendment.
Happy dollars.
All right, happy bucks. Who's happy? Mike?
Well, I'm happy. Here's a happy 5. As many of you know, my daughter Emily is expecting our first grandson sometime in the next couple of weeks. We were just down visiting over Easter, and they kind of dropped a bombshell on us. They've been down in Reno for not quite 2 years, but they announced to us that they are moving home. So sometime in the middle of June, Tesla will be transferring Cody to cover all of Washington, Portland, Vancouver, and all the way over to Boise. And so they're in the process of selling their house. It hit the market. They hit it today, I think, but they've already bought a house up here in our neighborhood. So we are thrilled to death. We're going to have a grandson real close.
Congratulations.
So the happy 5. Next Monday, my nephew Blake is going to start his new position with the Sigma Phi Epsilon fraternity in Richmond, Virginia. He was promoted, and he will be Regional Director of Services, and he'll be in charge of the people that the job he's doing now. He'll be in charge of supervising the men that are out in the field. So he'll be there for 2 years. We're excited. We're planning a trip in 2023 to go visit.
I have some happy bucks for my youngest daughter, who's 17 years old, and she does that all-star cheer where they throw them 30 feet in the air and scare the death out of me. She's been in 9 competitions this year and won every single one of them. And her team just made it to the World Championships. So we'll be flying out Wednesday to Disney World, where she'll be competing at ESPN Wide World of Sports.
Nice.
I got a couple of happy bucks. I see that Josh, the father, isn't here again, so grandfather's going to boast about my grandson, Mason Requay. Last night, or yesterday afternoon, they had the track meet at Sedro Woolley, and it's going to continue on Friday, but he had to qualify, first of all, to be in the Friday event. Well, in the heat he was in the 100, he won that. In the heat in the 200, he won that. And he'll be in the 4x100 Friday because they didn't have a preliminary for that. He didn't do as well in the long jump as his senior opponents because he's a freshman, but he did get 18 feet 6 inches in the long jump, which is pretty good. So the track coach is really happy that he isn't playing baseball this year.
Anyone else? All right,
Okay.
Phil?
Thanks, Tim. Chris, you're up. We have 2 new members today that we're going to induct into the club, Maggie Janicki and Cheryl Taylor.
All right, President-elect Phil, fellow Rotarians and guests. It is indeed an honor to induct Cheryl Taylor and Maggie Janicki as the newest members of the Sedro Woolley Rotary Club. The mission of Rotary is to provide service to others, promote high ethical standards, and advance world understanding, goodwill, and peace through its fellowship with businesses, professionals, and community leaders. We are not a political organization, but are dedicated to the practice of good citizenship. We are not a charitable organization, but are dedicated to the helping of our fellow man. We are not a religious organization, but are dedicated to the ideals of morality and high ethical standards. We bring together our individual skills, resources, and qualities of leadership to improve the quality of life for people not only in our local communities, but also in the communities around the world. Cheryl and Maggie, you have been chosen for membership in the Rotary Club of Sedro Woolley because the Rotarians of this club feel that you possess the qualities of leadership in your field, the qualities of personal conduct, the willingness to share those qualities of personal conduct, all directed towards the pursuance of Rotary's mission. It has been said that when a Sedro Woolley Rotarian is asked to perform, the answer is yes. President-elect Phil, fellow Rotarians and guests, please join me in welcoming Cheryl and Maggie as the newest members of the Rotary Club of Sedro Woolley. And we have Steve Massey, Cheryl's sponsor, to present both of their packets with their badges and other assorted information. Now, I know Maggie and Cheryl both prepared their new member speeches for today, but we're going to ask you to hold on that if that's okay. Okay, great. Okay, so they'll do new member speeches at a later date to be determined by another group. All right, thank you very much.
All right, nice job, Chris. Cheryl, Maggie. Congratulations. Okay, that brings us up to the program. Unless there's any other announcements or anything going on, I'll bring Paul Woodmansey up from BYK. Okay, Tim, you got the profile for him? Okay, here you go.
All right, I am very pleased to present to you guys today Paul Woodmansey of BYK. He's the president over at BYK. I've known Paul for a number of years, and also his business partner and brother Tim and I have known each other since about 5th grade. So it's been really cool seeing everything that they're doing at BYK and everything going on in the community and all the cool projects they have going. And I understand Paul also has Madison, who is the community developer at BYK as well with him. Did I get the name right? Planner, community planner. So without further ado, Paul.
Well, thank you everybody for inviting me here today. Turn that up a little bit. Oh, maybe not. As Tim said, my name is Paul Woodmansey. I'm president of BYK Construction. We started in 2008, my brother and I, and have been kind of growing ever since. We moved our business out to Sedro Woolley in 2016, excuse me, and we love it here. We love Sedro Woolley. So kind of just starting off with the intro, you know, there's some friendly faces. As a builder, developer, you often have friendly faces in an environment like this. You have some that you know and you don't, and then you have some faces that say, yeah, I don't like you very much. But yeah, I just want to kind of go over what we've done in Sedro Woolley in the last few years and have a conversation about the housing market, and then we'll open it up for questions. So BYK Construction, the last few years, some of our past projects, you know, is the Downtown 48, an apartment complex with 48 units off of Rita Street. Right next door, the Martindale Crossing building, that's where Cedron is located at the moment with their team. We also, kind of a community favorite project, the Pioneer Marketplace, grocery store off of State Street. We did some houses off of Woodrow Place and several houses in the Gateway Heights community. And then recently we opened up, did a remodel of a space we own downtown. And that's where Finesse Fit has been opened up, which is a Pilates studio, and one owned by my sister-in-law, Lexi. So pretty excited about that. Our current projects right now that you might see around town are Brickyard Park Platte, which is a 55+ community. That's roughly about 85 single-family homes. It is a PRD in the city. Garden Meadows is another project. It's a all ages plat, which is 25 houses and 3 duplexes. We have a project that's permit ready called the Trail Road Apartments. That's in the urban village mixed use zone in Sedro Woolley. And that's a 67 unit apartment complex and has 11,000 square feet of brand new commercial space for retail or office space. So we're pretty excited to get that one off the ground. I just wanted to say our mission statement for y'all. BYK believes that everyone deserves a peace of mind knowing that they come home to quality. And every decision we make at BYK is pointed in that direction, and that's our focus. I'm excited to say we're up to 49 employees as well at BYK, and about 90% of them live in Skagit County. So pretty exciting. Also, our family has been around the area for over 90 years in Sedro Woolley and Skagit County. You've seen multiple cabinet shops open and close, developers, and we've been involved in the community quite a bit over the last 90 years. So fun stuff, at least fun for me. Housing market. The national housing market. You've heard this said over and over the last few years. It's only getting worse, and we are in the midst of a housing shortage across the nation. We are short it's estimated to be 3 million to 5 million units short across the nation. A stat I like to look at often is how much we're building, and we're only building 72% of the units that we were building back in 2006 as a nation at the peak. So we're not even building to full capacity yet as an industry. And in February, new permits across the nation fell by almost 2%. and it only picked back up in March by 0.4%, which typically this time of year for us is a very busy time of year to get started on houses because we have a big turn in February and March on houses we sold, and then we get going again. So it's not a good indicator of what's going on that's in the single family realm. Home ownership is hovering at 65%. We peaked at 70% in 2004, and we had a low of 62.9. I think that was in 2012. And this is not a great stat because the majority of Americans build their wealth through home ownership. And just another stat over the nation, that it's not necessarily our local market, but over the nation, the last 5 months, we've had a drop in sales volume in the last 5 months in a row. And just to go back to that real quick, that's due to probably a lack of supply, but at the same time, it's also due to interest rate hikes and price increases that have happened in the housing market itself. So Skagit County market data. It's very much mimics our housing issue we have in the nation. I just pulled some reports this morning. So I wanted some real-time data. In Sedro Woolley, Mount Vernon, and Burlington, there are 5 lots for sale under $100,000 in those 3 cities. 5 lots, and not one of them is buildable. There are 5 buildable lots for sale in Sedro Woolley, Mount Vernon, Burlington, between the ranges of 100,000 and 200,000. There are 3 homes for sale in Sedro Woolley, Mount Vernon, and Burlington that are under $400,000. And all of them are manufactured homes. There's been a decrease in permit activity throughout Skagit County since the second quarter of 2018. And based off my calculation on some data that I just pulled before this meeting, we currently have a 0.7 month supply of houses on the market. 0.7. A balanced market is 6 months supply. Multifamily wise, our multifamily vacancy rate based off Skagit County data, I think it was in 2020, late 2020, but we were 0.7% vacancy rate. That's the low. It was the lowest in the state at that time. A balanced market, as far as me as a developer, I would say a balanced market is a 5% vacancy rate. And just talk about a housing shortage, right? Sedro Woolley market. Sedro Woolley has had some great success at getting builders like myself and developers to the city in the recent years. The available land that was out here that we could buy to build on, as well as complications in other jurisdictions and a welcoming atmosphere at Sedro Woolley, has driven us out here to Sedro. Sedro Woolley has 4 major single-family home plats under construction right now, with houses selling, which is more than Envy and Burlington combined. Sedro Woolley has 1 new apartment complex under construction and several in the planning stages. And Sedro Woolley is becoming, in my opinion, and a lot of my friends, one of the best places to live in Skagit County due to the job market, the housing availability, the quality education for kids, as well as being the gateway to the Cascades. So, but Sedro Woolley still has needs. And here's where some of the people might wrinkle their face at me a little bit. Sedro Woolley has a missing middle style of housing. We don't have woody walk-ups being built, garden style buildings, 3-story buildings, duplexes, multiplexes, those kind of middle of the range housing that is your step between an apartment and your first house that you buy. That type of house is missing. There's a couple reasons for this. There's a lack of property available in that current zone. There's actually only 1 for sale that I found on the market. And the other problem is that the R15 zone, which usually allows this style of housing to be built, is basically not on the docket to be planned for zoning anymore in the city of Sedro Woolley. Second problem Sedro Woolley has. Sedro Woolley has a lot of property that's in the mixed commercial zone. This zone needs, in my opinion, as a developer, this zone needs a review and adjustment on allowed uses and design criteria. This will allow for more residential to be built that coincides with the creation of commercial space that increases the income generation for the city through taxes. The third thing that Sedro Woolley needs, we need to continue to have leadership mindset that we've had for several years about housing. We've had a very, I wouldn't call it progressive, but an open mind to different style of housing versus some type of NIMBYism type of mindset that potentially can kill development and other people from being able to move into our community. Last thing, and this is my plea to the Rotary Club, make sure that you as Rotary members are housing advocates. We need the conversation around development and housing to be positive in building our developers and builders up. We need to have all different types of housing being built throughout our county, not just large apartment complexes and expensive single family homes. And that goes, the best way to get that message out there is by you all having conversations with your friends and fellow community members and keeping it positive for development. So that's it. Any questions? Okay.
And because I'm in the legislation business, what is the worst legislation that we have put forth in the last few years that drives up housing costs and reduces inventory, in your opinion?
The costs, specifically the cost, the energy code has been such a costly increase year after, or code change after code change. And this last time I estimated, personally, I estimated it was going to raise our house price between $20,000 to $25,000 in a single code change. So we were able to kind of figure it out and we got around negotiate. So we got it down to about 12, but it was a significant bump for us. So sorry, my throat is dry. Can you throw my water? As far as regulatory though, environmental regulations have really killed construction and development across the board. And I can't point out one specific regulation, but working through critical areas and wetland issues on all property is really time consuming and detrimental to the housing development. So, as well as community development commercially.
I'm all for promoting housing, and I'd like you to also promote funding schools when you go out there and promote housing, because that is a really big deal.
Hi, Paul. I can
Carol.
speak to the energy code a little bit. Just if a commercial building this size right here, it used to cost about, let's say 10 years ago, it was about $3,000 to do all the engineering for the energy code. And now it's probably $13,000. So that's like a threefold plus increase just in the consulting fees to comply with the energy code. And I was a member of ASHRAE, which is the group leading the charge. And they went, I mean, they have just gone off the charts. They're trying to go to a zero energy use on the building. And this is the outcome of that. So be careful what you wish and vote for, I guess would be my statement on that. And one thing that I've observed is the difference in insulation quality or the comfort of your home between R30 and R49, which has a huge cost, that $25,000 per home. If you look at the value that you get for that, it's not that great. You don't actually have the amount of energy more that you need from the difference of R30 to 49 is not that much for the amount of money you have to pay back. The payback is way more than 20 years, I would think. Yeah, when actually done those calculations before. And I never understood why they decided to go above R30 in the roofs. And I wouldn't be surprised in 5 years if they're talking R60. They're just going and going and going, and it's not, the rate of return on your investment isn't that great. So, but I've worked with Paul, and they do what he was telling about the quality and everything that they do. I observed it from my side of the process as a consultant. And about environmental, I work in King County a lot, and the current timeline to get a land disturbing activity permit for them to open the file is like 200+ days. I had a developer call me today, and he said, I want to do something in 6 months. I need a well, water. I want to get a water system approved in 6 months. And I had to chuckle. And I said, well, I'm out 2 years, first of all, and you have a 4-year project. And he says, this is ridiculous. I've done this in the Midwest, and I can do a complete plat in 12 months. And I said, you can't even get your permit approved for a land disturbing activity in 12 months around here. So that's a big part of the problem.
Yep. Timelines are definitely a problem in terms of permitting. And there's a lot of different processes that I wouldn't say we should get away from, but I would say that we need to figure out a way to make them more timely.
Okay, let's talk about another note here. BYK, what's it stand for, and why did you give it that name?
That's a great question, actually. BYK stands for Building Your Kingdom. I was actually at a church event in which they were talking about being a kingdom builder and bringing funds to the church. And I basically, through that church event, I felt God speak to me to start BYK Construction. And my brother and I did the next day.
Any other questions? All right.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I do have a parting gift for you from the greatest Rotary Club in the Okay, I'd like to remind everybody next Friday, Thursday, we'll need some help. Remember, this is a benefit auction to help kids in our community projects. So start thinking how you're going to dig deep in your pocket. So we're looking for record amount of auction revenue next week. I want to thank Cheryl and Maggie as new members, and welcome. And if there isn't any other new business or any announcements, I will call this meeting to adjourn.